we go to the discussion 4. This is on new technologies, production, processing, packaging, and storing. As I've been telling from yesterday, this is going to be an important session. Of course, it will have different sets of speakers. So we would follow a format that we will call a speaker. The speaker would make a 10 minutes presentation and 2 or 3 quick questions, and then we will move on to the next speaker because the topics are very diverse. So the first speaker is going to be from AbsorbTech, the company which provides a lot of solution to product like Sesame, which involves quite a lot of shipment, long transit times, and potential quality deterioration. To make a presentation on what is possible, how the losses can be avoided, may I invite Mr. Ted Rodkish from AbsorbTech. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I will talk about sustainable transport, how you can transport the sesame in a sustainable way and at the same time secure it from damage and moisture damage. So globally we have a lot of information from newspaper, television, that it's a lot of food waste in the world. And they say that it's 1.3 billion tons that are wasted every year. And this could of course be avoided if we had better transport ways, and also of course that people treat the food in a better way. But transport is the first way where we can see and we can save food from damage. And moisture in transport, when and how does it happen? Sesame also is transported very often in containers, sea containers, and in a sea container you have different temperature from day and night, and due to different temperature you will have moisture. So warm air can hold moisture more than cold air. So during the night the moisture in the container will go to the ceiling or to the walls and then eventually drip down on the goods, and you would have destroyed goods or partly destroyed goods. Of course, also moisture can come from the beginning already when you pack the container. The container floor can be full of water, even if you don't see it, it's wooden floor. You could have a lot of moisture in the goods, and you could have also moisture in the packing material. And this during the trip, and we know now when we have very long session or very long transport time, delays, that it could be normally maybe 30 days and now it's 50, 60 days. And due to that, we could have even more damage to the goods. And if the goods come to the customer damaged, they have to throw it away, which is a big waste. And what different moisture problem can we have? Yeah, mold and mildew. And if you have very moist in the container, the bugs will love it. You can have changed taste, changed smell on the goods. So a lot of things that could go wrong during shipment. And how can we avoid this? Yeah, there are basically 3 things that drives these damages. So it's the time, and the time can be of course reduced if you would fly the goods. You would have shorter transit times, but that's extremely expensive and also not very good for the environment to fly goods. And then the temperature. If you could have a constant temperature in the containers, there would be minimum risk for any damage. And you can use a reefer to achieve this. But the reefer is also expensive and not always available, and also a little bit higher impact on the environment than standard container. And then the final solution is to take out the moisture instead of letting it be in the container. And that can be done with desiccant, so basically a moisture absorber, which is a cheap solution to take out the moisture and solve the problem, and also a very good solution for the environment compared to the other ones. And desiccants, we have different desiccants. Most of you know silica gel, has been used many, many years. Some use clay, also been used for hundreds of years, thousands of years, to take out moisture. But both of these products are not very efficient. They can take about 20% moisture of their own weight. The company that I work for, Absotec, and a similar company, use other ingredients like calcium chloride mixed with starch, and these are much more efficient to take out the moisture. In this example here, you can see that 1 kilo of this Absogel, you would need 10 to 12 kilo of silica gel to do the same job. And the impact on the environment is so much higher by using silica gel because it has a bigger impact, a bigger CO2 footprint. So in total, 1 kilo of the gel will only have a CO2 footprint of 1.3 kilo in this example, and the silica gel 20 times higher. So you could do much better by using an efficient desiccant. You need less of these products in the container to take out the same amount of moisture. You use then less plastic because it's a lot of plastic in these products. You can use fewer of them, as I said, so you will have less transport when you transport these products to your containers. What we also have done is to make these products CO2 neutral by reducing the material that we use, using recycled plastic. We have had a separate company looking into this and counting how much is the CO2 footprint for each of our products. And then the rest we have offset via golden standards, and we have done that with help of them to invest in solar panel parks in India and reforesting in Ethiopia to make our contribution to the environment. The products that are used are different depending on how you load your containers. So we have products that are hanged on the side, put on the top, as you can see here. So it depends on how the container is loaded. But these products sucks in the moisture and keep them in the product. So when your goods arrive, it arrives in good condition, and these products can then be either recycled, part of them, and sent to normal waste. We also offer a service where we basically look into how you ship your goods, how you pack your container, to see if there is any way we can reduce the risk of moisture when you do this. We call this Peace of Moisture Mind, where we basically go through the process, how you pack, how many desiccants you would need for your containers, and then finally secure that you have the goods available where you need it. The cost for this cheap insurance is not very high. Of course, this is just an example, but it can vary between $30 and $50. If it's a very long trip, very complicated installation maybe, then it can be a little bit higher. But it's not a huge cost to insure your goods that it arrives in a very good condition. We have also some papers on this, white papers that you can get from us, where you can read more in detail, how you can reduce your desiccant costs, how you can reduce your logistic costs, and also secure that your impact on the environment is as little as possible. And with that, I say thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Mr. Ted. So 1 second, I thought we'll do it a little different way this time. We have a shipper here. I wanted to ask him whether, while he is shipping, does he use any product, not necessarily AbsorbTech, and what has been his experience so far? Right? Is that okay?
Again, please.
Is that okay? Just I wanted to know, as a shipper, is he using any absorbent, any desiccant? And if he is yes, why is he using, and what is his perception? And if not, why not? Is that okay? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Prakar from Hakan Foods. It was a nice presentation. Of course, it's a very useful product. I'm using not this product. I'm using as the conventional method of silica gel, which of course need more volume and less productivity. The product is extremely good, especially for the peanuts. Sesame seed, actually the moisture level itself is very low. Probably the eventual moisture level in sesame seed is 5 to 6%. Whereas the products in pulses, it's like 14 to 15% moisture level, and peanut, it's like 10 plus 11, 12. So this product is extremely good. What I can see from your presentation, extremely good for products like peanut, and I will definitely look into this, how we can use it, and many people here also will think about it. But how we source it? Because for example, I need some quantity. Is there ready product available in origins? If I need to import the full containers, or then probably many people cannot do it. But do you have any hubs, like you keep something available in Nigeria or Ethiopia or Sudan? This kind of countries, wherever we need it, we can approach your office there, and we can get a local delivery. Rather, depends on the requirements. For example, I have shipments of 20 or 30 containers, so I may need a small quantity. I'll be able to buy small quantity locally. If you can do that, then I think your products can flourish all over Africa. Thank you.
So can you share something about your distribution network?
Yes. So maybe I go back one slide here. So we basically operate globally. We have production in Sweden, we have production in China, and we have sales offices on many places in the globe. And then we work with distributors in more than 75 countries. And of course, wherever we have a distributor, it's possible to buy smaller quantities. In some countries where we are not, there is the possibility then only to buy LCL or full containers. But we are constantly looking for new distributors in markets where we are not. And that's how we try to reach out to everyone, give the possibility that they can use also if it's smaller quantities.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed a very good presentation, I would say, and it's a very useful one also. Thank you so much. A minute of your time, may I request you to come on the stage, in the center of the stage, as I invite Mr. Ashraf Botros from Al Jabal Storage Company Limited to present the memento. Thank you, sir. That was the first presentation on a very useful subject, the relevance of desiccant in a supply chain which has got a long transit time and which is susceptible to quality loss. Thank you so much for educating us on this very important subject, and also talking a lot about the sustainability angle which you have introduced to your business. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Mr. Kadar Bhasha, Best Smart Solution, is not with us today due to some other exigencies. So we quickly move on to the third presenter, Mr. Rishabh Goel from Goem Group. He would take us through what is the latest when it comes to expeller technology for extracting sesame oil from sesame seed. Over to you, sir.
So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Rishabh Goel, and I am representing Goem Group India. So, I will just start the presentation since the time is 10 minutes, so I'll try to finish this within the stipulated time. So as we all know that it's a tiny seed, and since we are into edible oil expeller, so it has a huge opportunities to add value addition to that. We know the sesame has a lot of wide applications. Particularly, it is used in edible oil. It is used as a medicinal value also, as garnishing on buns, on bagels, as well as in tahniya or halawa, as we have seen in previous presentations. These are the general information which I am sure quite of you all are aware of, the major producing countries in Africa and all over the globe. See, our core business is into edible oil extraction. So when we are seeing that this much quantity is exported from Sudan or from Nigeria, where we come in is we want to pitch to the entrepreneurs and businessmen that why not add value addition to your already existing supply chain. The benefit of that is, as you have seen after COVID-19, more and more people have become health conscious. And so we feel that sesame oil has a huge value because it's a very it's a good healthy oil compared to the palm and the other substitutes. So this is one of the reasons I would say we can move to the usage of sesame oil. Other is the Ukraine-Russia tensions. I have frequently traveled to Sudan. I see that Sudan has a major imports of crude sunflower from Ukraine, and that was disrupted. So the dependence increases on other oils. Rather than if you have your own manufacturing facilities, you won't be dependent on imports and have your own self-sustainable industry. Then we have seen from the previous presentations also from the delegates that the geopolitical tensions, like recently Indonesia banned export of palm oil, which has put many importers in jeopardy. So that also can be countered if you have a sesame oil extraction project. About our company, I would like to present briefly that we are based in Ludhiana, Punjab. It's a northern state in India, and we have the complete solution for sesame, soybean, palm kernel, sunflower, all kind of edible oil seeds. We have a manufacturing state-of-the-art facility of about 40,000 square meters in Ludhiana, and about 400 plus people are working with us, and everything is done in-house. So whatever we are making, either they are gearboxes, contact parts, all are done in-house. We have done about 750 projects have about presence with the contact with 3,000 plus customers in about 63 plus countries. We are an ISO certified and a CE certified. Some of our machines are being exported to Western Europe, in Southern America, USA and Canada. We are members of all the government organizations and etc. So let me give you a brief about sesame processing. So you have the sesame seed, raw sesame seed coming from the farm or from the wholesale markets. You have the cleaning, destoning facilities, which is already there with most of the exporters and people who are dealing in sesame business. This is where we come in, that after you have cleaned, this seed which is not ready for export or rejected seed can be used to get oil. And this is where we come in. We have the process where the uncleaned or the rejected seed can go into the seed cooking, and then it can go to the mechanical pressing, which we call as oil expeller. This is where the extraction is happening, where you get sesame oil and you get sesame cake. The sesame oil has to go through filtration because it is crude in nature and cannot be consumed as it is. So after filtration, it can be go for refining as well, but in some countries people prefer filtered sesame oil as well. So that is also being consumed. And the cake has a huge value in terms of feed. So it goes into animal feed. Also it is being exported. This is the generic layout, a 3D diagram, a flow chart of the sesame process. As you can see from the start, it is elevator on the left side, and it is going into the seed cleaning machineries to destone and to clean the seed. And then the machines you have on orange and green color are the actual presses. Since sesame oil has about 50% oil content, you need to press it twice or thrice to get the maximum recovery. In our industry, we usually say that 7% oil left in the cake is the ideal percentage of oil in the cake. So by this process, what you get is sesame oil and sesame cake. This is a view of a 3D diagram, how the project looks like. As a company, Goyam, we completely provide turnkey solutions where we manufacture, export, install, commission, and do after-sale services as well. These are some of the photographs of the machineries which are used to make sesame oil and sesame cake. We have filter press, we have a vibro cleaner, elevators and conveyors are used for material handling, and we have the filter press as well. I wanted to share some of the esteemed customers we have in Africa. As you can see, we have a strong presence. We have our office in Sudan, in Tanzania, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Mali, Ethiopia. So what we do is we have machineries in stock, ready stock over there to mitigate the currency fluctuations, port crisis. So we keep all these machineries in ready stock and then supply the entrepreneurs in the local market. So these are some of our customers who are either into sesame oil business or into any other oil business, either it is cottonseed or groundnut or sunflower. We have a stall right outside the stand, and me and my colleagues are already there at the stand. If you have any queries, any questions related to the project of sesame oil, we'll be happy to answer them and clear your queries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mr. Rishabh Goyal? It's very impressive, about over 700 installations, and they have presence pretty much everywhere. Thanks for sharing this information. Thank you. You also mentioned that the extracted cake has got about 7% oil. Yes. Is there a practice of using solvent extraction method to remove that, or
Yes, normally? There is a solvent extraction process where you can take the oil to less than 1%, 0.5% content, oil content in cake. But that involves hexane usage. And most of the customers are either interested in the extraction process only, because hexane treated oil and hexane treated cake has to find a new market. Hexane treated oil needs to be refined again. So it's a capex escalation, and most of the businessmen here prefer extraction. But we do have solvent and refinery projects which are already operational in many countries in Africa.
In South India, I think there is a practice of using this solvent extracted oil for lighting lamps. Is it right? There's, I think non-cooking applications. We are seeing that
No, solvent extracted oil is used in cooking applications.
Oh, is it?
But you have to refine it further.
Okay.
And most of our target customers are medium and large scale entrepreneurs. So they prefer going for extraction first, and the later stage they plan for refining and the solvent extraction procedures.
Okay. Unlike the other plants, a sesame extractor, this setup what you have shown, what is the kind of capacity ranges normally
So the capacity basically starts from 15 tons per day. We are talking for 24-hour basis, and this is the basic minimum capacity required. And you can expand up to any capacity. We can go up to 300 tons. We have about 10 to 15 installations in Africa where the processing is 300 tons per day of raw material, sesame.
Sesame?
Yes.
Okay. What is the area required for a 300 metric ton per day? The plant area itself?
The plant area required is about 1,500 square meter, where the machinery and the material handling equipment will come. Rest area you depend upon the storage of the seed and the cake and the oils.
And the power requirement for that?
Power required for what capacity? 15 tons?
300 tons per day, what you mentioned?
Minimum it will be 2 megawatt.
It's a 2 megawatt.
Yeah. 15 ton to 50 ton is the ideal capacity to start any new business. And later on you can expand your capacity by adding more machines in the line.
Okay. That 15 to 50, what could be the power requirement?
A 15 ton project with having a power requirement of about 200 kilowatt.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. Please come on the center of the stage. A round of applause for our speaker from Goyam Group. May I also request Ms. Veronica Fernandez, an exporter of organic sesame from Agri-Exim Limited, Uganda, to kindly come on the stage and honor us by presenting the memento to Mr. Rishabh Goyal. Welcome, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Rishabh Goyal for patiently taking us through the process and the opportunities involved in extracting oil from sesame seed. May I request the volunteers from Sesame Info to bring the people inside for the remaining part of the presentation. I think the topics are very important. From Equinom to give us a presentation on what Equinom is doing in the field of increasing the productivity and what has been the result so far. What he is going to share is all practical wisdom and empirically proven results. Welcome, sir.
So, hello everyone. First, I want to thank the organizing committee for giving me the opportunity to speak in this important conference. My name is Itai. I am the sesame breeder of Equinom. Equinom is a seed company based in Israel. We are breeding sesame for the last 6 years. And I want to show you some of our activities. We heard a lot of, in the last 2 days, we heard a lot of the sesame challenges in the industry. And I hope you will find some solution after this presentation. So this is the title, to make sesame production more sustainable. So looking on the history of the last century, several crop revolution has been made. One of them is the green revolution in wheat, thanks to the genetic studies of Dr. Norman Borlaug. He made the wheat more reproductive, and this is what Norman Borlaug said when he won his Nobel Prize. And thanks to this activity and these studies, he led to increasing production and yield, but the production area is still stable. So actually, we believe that through genetic studies and the breeding of sesame, we believe that we can make sesame with a higher yield, and it will make it will support the growing demand. Okay, it will help to overcome all of the shortage that we see in the last years, and also drive sustainable and ethical sesame production. And I will speak about it later on the next slide, but it is also something that is very important for us, the traceability, the fair trade, and so on. So our approach involves only classical breeding approach. I want to emphasize all of our varieties are non-GMO varieties, okay? Only classical breeding. We have our platform, we called it a MANA platform, which is first start with the product definition that we define according to our customer demand, what he need, where are the growing environment, the target regions, and so on. We screen all of the natural variation. We have thousands of exotic lines in Equinom that we screen both for phenotypic traits and also for the genotypic studies. And through this, we have our in-house computational breeding that optimize and help us to select and to make our crosses to find a new combination, a better combination, not only for yield, also for other traits that I will show you later. And the output is our smarter seed, that it is our product. So the first challenge that we try to solve in Equinom is to convert sesame from shattering varieties to non-shattering varieties. It allows to to harvest the seed mechanically, okay, and to introduce sesame to other countries where mechanical harvest is more acceptable. So we develop, sorry about that. So our capsule is shatter resistant. We have a patent on this shattering resistant, and this is the first step that we made. But not only shattering resistant, we also have a lot of studies. What are the main traits? What are the main key elements to improve and to enhance yield? And as Dr. Norman Borlaug make the wheat more reproductive, we are trying to make sesame more reproductive, and those are the main 4 elements. Most of the traditional sesame varieties have a single pod per leaf exile. Our genetics and our varieties have 3 pods per leaf exile. The height to first capsule is very low in our varieties. It is very important because it starts to be very productive very fast, and it helps us to develop varieties for short season areas. Also, the capsule length, which is correlated to a number of seeds per capsule, and the branching issues. So you can see again the traditional varieties, Equinome varieties, and now with 3 pods per leaf exile. And now we start working with the new mutation that we found with more than 3 capsules per leaf exile. It may exceed also 6 capsules as you see here. This is our existing breeding program that we are moving forward with it. So the results in Equinome Smarter Sesame, you can see it here. Given the optimal conditions and the right growing regions, our genetics and our varieties may perform, as you see here, 2,500 kilos per hectare. It really depends on the environment. It's of course under irrigated conditions, but also under dryland rain-fed condition, we can see yield performance of 1,200 kilograms per hectare. But not only yield, as I said before, yield stability is also very important. Not to be less dependent on the environmental changes and the environmental effect, we are trying also to develop early maturity varieties for short season, for growing regions which are more exposed to stress. And we have in our variety portfolio some early maturity varieties that may be completely dry after 90 days. And on the other side, we have some varieties that if you will give them the optimal condition, it may dry down after 130 days. Seed quality, of course, it is also an important factor. We can see the oil content in Equinome Smarter Sesame varieties compared to the non-shattering other sesame varieties, and also compared to shattering sesame, and also the protein. Protein is a very important trait also. We're all familiar with all of the alternative protein industry. So sesame may play an important role here because of the dual roles, also for the oil and after it for the protein. So some of our varieties are very high protein, more than 30% in the seed content. So this is our variety portfolio. We have a lot of diverse varieties here. You hardly see it, but I invite you to speak with us, with me, or with Lior, our head of Sesame Business Unit, which is here, and we can provide you our catalog, and you can see there all of the traits that are mentioned here. But anyway, we have a lot of varieties, and according to the market demands, according to your market needs, we can solve some of the problems that you see in the last days. As I mentioned before, it is very important for us to grant traceability and to inspect that the usage of Equinom seeds. All of our varieties are protected by 3 patents, okay? And it is very simple. All of the patents are protected by, all of the varieties protected by genetic markers. As we all know from the Corona crisis, we can do a simple PCR and to get result after less than 24 hours. So the same is here. We can, according to our patent, we can grant a certificate of traceability, and all of our growers, all of our customers can easily find which are the, if the Equinom varieties are grown, if there are some issues between harvesting to the next stages and so on. But it is very simple, and it is we encourage everyone to use this certificate in order to get fair trade and all of the factors that I mentioned before. We keep continue our breeding program live. It's not finished only by this catalog. We are continue working on other factors which relate to stability, for example, disease resistant, higher yield, of course. We are always trying to improve our yield performance that we have, and you can see everything here in the catalog, include colored seeds, not only white seeds, also black and brown seeds. So going back to Dr. Norman Borlaug that we see before, we are truly believe that we can make the change in sesame genetics, and we are there, and we invite you all to join our journey. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause to Dr. Itai Zamash for wonderful presentation, and also to the entire team at Equinom, because they have been here, and it is very important that, like, you engage with them. There is a question from Mr. Prakash for you.
Thank you, Doctor. It was extremely great presentation from your side. A lot of knowledge I could obtain from this. My question, I have 3 questions to you. First question is, did you have any, already experience in any African countries where it is already popular, and the government and the FAOs given acceptance for this kind of, using and doing the season productivity? And the second question is it affecting the taste of the sesame seed? Apart from as you said, the oil is going up, protein is going up, is there any change of sesame, especially whether it's bitter or sweeter changes, it makes changes? Did you make any research on that? And my third question is, how much it's costing? Is it affordable to the farmers to do, this kind of farming and getting the extra product? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. The first one regarding the protein and the oil. Always there is a trade-off between quality traits to yield traits, okay? But this is actually the breeding program. We're always trying to find some new variants that break this correlation. So if I am talking with you about higher protein varieties, it always comes with higher yield, okay? And also the same goes for higher oil. with higher yield. Okay. Between those two, there is also a correlation between protein and oil. But again, this is actually our goal, to cross between existed lines and to find new variation, new recombination that may break this correlation and to develop a better varieties. This is for your first question. The third question was about the cost. I am less familiar with the cost of converting this growing from shattering varieties to shatter-resistant varieties, but I guess it is not something that impossible. It is feasible. We are start working with African countries about moving to shattering-resistant varieties of Equinome. So I guess it is feasible, but for more details, you can speak with Lior, which is here. Lior, raise your hand. Lior is here. You are invited to speak with him, but it is something very feasible, and we are doing it in the last 2 years. Okay?
Thank you. One more question, please.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. My name is Isaka Tingri from Burkina Faso. I'm working in an international NGO called Cordate in the setting of a project called Innovating for Impact in Sesame with a focus on organic sesame. I have short questions. The first one is, sorry.
Can you raise your voice, please?
Okay, so
yeah.
I have 2 short questions. The first one is the smart seed about which you are talking about. Is it a genetic modified organism? And the second one, is it this seed can be used for organic production? These are the 2 questions that I would like to ask. Thank you.
So regarding the organic production that you asked, our varieties are suitable for organic production. We are now working more about developing disease-resistant varieties for several diseases like macrophomina, like other insects, and we believe that those disease-resistant varieties will help to reduce the usage of pesticide and also our other varieties may be suitable for organic usage. Sorry, but I didn't hear the first question. Huh?
The first question was whether it is a genetically modified seed. Second question was, is this program acceptable as organic?
Okay, regarding the genetically modified seeds, our seeds are not GMO at all. This is your question?
Yeah. You have answered it.
Hello, thank you very much for such a nice presentation. It's really interesting and insightful. My name is Timur, I'm from company Ecom. The only question I have is that in your smart seeds, is there an intensive fertilizer requirement or preparation of the soil? More of a technical kind of a question, just to understand.
I think that we don't need to do some special modification on our varieties. Again, we have a vast portfolio of varieties. We need to find the suitable varieties for the growing region, to learn about the growing period, for example, the precipitation and so on, and we can suit the right varieties to the target region. But we don't need, in our experience, we don't need any additional modification or any other supportive treatments to grow our varieties.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that excellent presentation and also answering so clearly
various questions. Please come on the center of the
Sorry
stage, sir.
about my...
No problem at all, sir. Thank you so much. May I request Mr. Mehman Gailey to come on stage to honor our speaker from Equinom, Dr. Itai Jamash, for such a wonderful presentation.
On behalf of organizers, we would like to thank very much Mr. Tariq for these excellent presentations. We get a huge information from it. We hope that all of us will enjoy the more information from him. And let us see you again in coming event, inshallah.
Sir, please present a memento. Just for the information of the audience who are here, 3 organizations across the world have been working in the area of improving productivity when it comes to sesame seed. Sesaco USA, Equinom from Israel, and Agriventus from Australia. And for the first time what I heard was that all these 3 organizations are collaborating and doing this for the larger benefit of the industry as such, because they've identified that there are certain things which has to be done in a different manner so as to make it better and more profitable and sustainable for the farmers. So this initiative, if I'm not wrong, it's almost 3 years old or a little more than that?
We are breeding 6 years already, but commercializing our product already for 2 years.
So you are already doing commercial production using this technology in Israel?
Our first market was actually the USA. It's not a big sesame country, but we started with cultivation in Texas, Oklahoma, and gradually going down south to Argentina, Paraguay, and now Brazil. But we already have customers also here in Africa, in Sudan. So we are slowly growing.
All right, thank you so much. That's such a positive news. There is a new technology and new way of doing things which can make production sustainable and increase the production. Thank you so much. Do we have Mr. Louis Hunter here? I had a brief conversation with him yesterday, and what he told me was that they were able to achieve over 3,000 kgs per hectare in the non-shattering type. And he said that could be very, very appropriate for some of the countries in Africa who does not want to go into the mechanized route. So that was very interesting. I thought no, we don't have him. I'm very, I don't know the reason, he's not there with us, but we will share his presentations for the benefit of all of you who are here. Because that has got a lot of information and also his contact details. So if any of you are interested in pursuing the subject of increasing productivity and increasing yield in sesame in your country, maybe you can contact Equinom or you can contact Agriventus as such. Thank you so much. With that, we come to this end of this discussion 4 on new technologies, production, processing, packaging, and storing. So we are slightly delayed, but we have come to the end of the conferencing part, and it's time to say very, very briefly that what we feel at this point in time. To begin with, I thank each and every one of you who are present here and all those who have joined this conference, World Sesame Conference 2022. It has been a great pleasure in having you in the last 3 days and walking through this entire 3 days of what we can do for the sesame value chain. Thank you very much. May I request all of you to give a big round of applause for yourself, because it has been such a wonderful 3 days of conferencing and networking. A conference of this nature is not possible without the support of the sponsors, partners, and the supporting bodies. I take this opportunity to thank each one of them. There is also a committee agenda and works with us when it comes to preparing and reaching out to speakers. I thank the committee for the excellent job and the guidance which they have provided us. I thank all the speakers. There are more than 30 speakers who have put in the time, passion, and shared what they believe is important for the industry. So I thank each one of the speakers and experts. 4 of them have joined online, and almost about 26 were here with us. 25, unfortunately, we don't know where Mr. Leisante is, but I'm sure that one, we'll catch up with him during the lunchtime, and maybe that we'll have the benefit of what he has to say when it comes to increasing the productivity. A special thanks to all the 5 supporting bodies, associations who have helped us to reach out. We would like to hear from you, your feedback, comments, and how we can improve the utility of this platform, relevance of this platform for your business. So we will keep engaged with you. In the next 3 to 5 days, we will put all the presentations in the website sesameconference.com. Maybe in a week's time, we will also, or maybe a week or 2, we will always also make available the video of various sessions, so that you can refer to them in case you need them. And then in a month's time, we will bring out the key findings and proceedings and circulate it to you, so that the future agenda, either at the regional level or at the country level or at the global level, that you feel fit, you can sound us, we can help you pursue that. With this, I extend a sincere thanks to each and every one of you from the organizers, sesameinfo.com. Thank you very much. Have a great year ahead and have a wonderful time. May God bless you all, and may God bless us all for a very successful future. Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.